Always got to limber up before every show because this is pretty intense. Hold on a second. Oh, that feels good. Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to Caliber Corner Season 5, episode number 240. We've got a very lively panel joining us this morning. And, today we're just talking about guns and ammo prices. Prices are pretty low. In a lot of places, we're looking at pre-pandemic prices. The big question is, do you buy? Do you hold? Do you sell? What do you do? What's the time to do? So we'll be talking to our panel. We'll go visit a few popular websites and see how prices are looking and see maybe if we can make any predictions for the future. There's a lot of good signs indicating that prices are going to continue to drop on certain firearms. But then again, there's certain areas that are still very strong for prices, and prices are still going up. So before we do that, we're going to let the panel introduce themselves, and we will go ahead and get started. We'll give a little shout out on the YouTube side. I've only got an hour this morning, so we're going to try to maximize that time. But before we get into that discussion, we'll let the panel go ahead and say hello. Off to my right, we've got the one, the only Squib load. Squib, how you doing, sir? Are you good?
Yeah, just started coffee cup number 2. So
there you go.
See? To a good show. Yeah.
Squib here actually said good morning to me on this chat over there on the comment side before I was even awake today. So Squib, I'm expecting lots and lots of participation from you. You're more awake than me, right?
I was on Barbecue's Almost Nightly Expo at 2 a.m. So that's why I sent that over to you. And I'm going to put a link to it there in the live chat there. Yeah, I was up late, so looking forward to a good show this morning.
Hey, man, you're a hard-working dude, and we respect that. So I appreciate you being here, and you've been here basically since, episode 1, 2, 3, essentially. So, all right, man, cool. Glad to have you here. All right, off to his right, we've got the one, the only, Single Shot. Single Shot, what's going on, man? Where you at?
Oh, we are over here in Loveland, Colorado right now. And,
Rocky Mountain High, dude. Yeah.
How's
the weather out there? You guys catching any rain or what? I saw some stuff coming in from out west.
A little bit, not much at all. But a long trip. I've been out here for, pretty much going on to 2 weeks now, and I don't expect to get back to the home location probably until towards the end of next week. Long ride. Went all the way out to Washington State this time, and dubbed around out there for a little while, and then finally got another load headed out this way, and I got to catch another link back up into Maine. They've already got me a load to pick up to go right back up through, and I guarantee you, when I get back there, I'm going to take some time off.
So you're one of those poor souls that lives out there on the East Coast, so you're at one of those sea level, guys. How are you handling the high altitudes of Colorado? Do you notice it when you get up there above, 5, 6, 7,000 feet?
Oh, yeah, somewhat. I mean, it's not my first rodeo out here. I've had 34 years out here. I've been out here many times. I'm at one of the truck stops right now that was part of a Bill Murray movie that was called Larger Than Life, if people have seen that. And it's still a very nice place to stop. They've got a good facility here, lots of parking. They've improved on the place here quite a bit. So nice. I definitely will stop here each time I get out here. They're also nationwide famed for an item that is very large sticky bun, and they're excellent. So I definitely picked
that sounds so good. Now you're getting me hungry, dude. That's not what I need right now. Between that and that blueberry Kit Kat that Chris posted on Instagram or wherever the heck that was this morning, that made me hungry for blueberries now. So you guys are killing me here. God. We'll talk about that Kit Kat here in a second, Chris. Well, Single Shot, I'm glad to have you here. Where else can people find you? You got the Single Shot channel on YouTube. It's single space shot exclamation point. You're also over on Rumble. What's the name of your channel over on Rumble?
It is called Daywolf, and I'm on there from time to time when I'm home. I released one video when I was there the last time. Yeah. And hope everybody has a chance to swing over by and check it out. Cool. But I want to say hi to everybody in the chat, and I'll be here listening to you.
Sounds good, man. Well, if when we start talking about gun deals or ammo prices, feel free to chime right in, and we'll go from there. Awesome. Okay, also joining us, we got the Blueberry Kit Kat King of Ohio. It's Chris from the 740. Chris,
good morning.
Kit Kat. Was that tasty or what? What do you think of that Kit Kat? Was that delicious or what?
Yeah, I liked it.
They're good.
We were on our way to USPSA practice yesterday afternoon, and my son was with me, and we stopped at the gas station to grab some Gatorade and stuff before we took off, and he picks one of these up. He said, "Hey, isn't this that thing the Kit Kat Squib really liked?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Grab a few of them."
Really, dude. I just can't see you. You put the Gatorade, the beef jerky, the can of Coke, and then Blueberry Kit Kat just ends up on the shelf. It just doesn't. I don't know. It just doesn't. But yeah. So, what'd you think? Did you try one? What'd you think?
Oh yeah, I really liked it.
They're good. They taste like a blueberry muffin, man. They're amazing. I know.
I love Kit Kats.
Yo, I do too.
I
try all the flavors.
So it's kind of perfect.
Yeah. Although sometimes the big cats can be a little tough to finish off because there's just so much Kit Kat there. You're just like, okay, I'm about done with this damn thing. It's like you're eating 4 of them in one sitting. So Chris, you got a channel, and when's your podcast? What do you guys talk about? What's your channel all about? Let's let the world know.
We're in the middle of a reloading series right now on the live chat, which is Wednesday night, 9 to 11 Eastern, 8 to 10 Central. And yeah, we're having fun with it. So
I'm glad you're doing that because I'm seeing that when I go over to Gun.Deals. And again, I'm not sponsored by Gun.Deals or Arrow or Palmetto State Armory or Primary Arms. They're not sponsored by them, but we'll make references to them a lot. Over at Gun.Deals, they've got a pretty good price on that Lee Anniversary press set, which is what I bought 4 years ago. And I think it's only about $20 more than what I paid 4 years ago. So adjusted for inflation, it's actually a pretty good deal. I think it's like $159 from Brownells. And that's a good way to just get started. Now, it's not the best. I like RCBS. I like, some of these other companies that are out there, but it's not a bad way to just get into it, And so I think it's cool you guys are talking about that because we're finally starting to see some of those component prices go down a little bit or go to a more affordable level than where they were 24 months ago or 12 months ago.
Yeah.
So, and brass availability is starting to increase now too, and we're starting to see more projectiles on the shelves. And you can find those things if you hunt around, okay? But your average shopper doesn't have the patience for that. They want to go to the store, they want to buy it on the shelves, and if they don't see it, they complain, which isn't right, but that's just what people do. So, yeah. Now, JH586 out there says, I haven't seen firearms prices coming down, just the opposite. So, JH, I'll talk about some of what we're seeing. Like when I go to Gun.Deals, that's where I kind of track prices. And I know 24 months ago, like a Ruger, AR-556 was $800. Now they're $699, or an M&P Sports $599, or now we're finally getting PSA lowers for $109 and not $199. So it really depends on what you're looking for. But then on the other end, there's brands like Daniel Defense, where I don't know if it was because of Uvalde, but their prices have skyrocketed. My M4A1 that I bought for $1,600 is now going for $2,100 brand new at most of your websites, going for full MSRP. So it really depends on what you're looking at. But there's a lot of great deals on handguns and just some stuff we'll talk about where you can actually save money. So I don't disagree with you, JH. A lot of the times we're seeing stuff going for full retail price, but we're also not seeing the overcharging that was happening 24 months ago. So guys, make sure you subscribe to Chris's channel. He's got a lot of great content. Do check it out. Wonderful videos, great podcasts, and it's good to have you here today, man. I appreciate you being here. You were just here on Thursday, so thanks for coming back. So, all right. And what are you running, Chris, off to your left? What's up on the wall over there? I see you took down the glorious high points and you outfitted that 300 Blackout or what?
Yeah, that's my 300 Blackout pistol I just finished.
What is the build? What's the upper and the lower? What are you going with?
The upper is a Davidson Defense. The lower is just an Anderson.
Okay. And then your parts kit. Who do you get your parts kits from for your lower builds? Do you go through CMMG or PSA, or do you just go through
that one?
Anderson.
Yeah, that one was actually a CMMG kit from Earl King, but I've swapped the trigger out, and most of the stuff was Strike Industries at this point.
Oh,
so there's
okay, cool.
A whole lot left in it.
Yeah, and that's one thing too that's kind of nice. You're starting to see the strip lowers go back down to being $35, $40 for just a basic strip lower, whereas they were running $90 or $100 during pandemic pricing. So that's just it. I've been watching these prices because we talk about these things every week, and so I've seen them drop. Now, there are some things that have gone up, but it's nice to see that just basic things like rebuild kits or building kits and so on have gone down in price. Let's see. Your Kendrick 98 says, I got 5 boxes of 50 rounds for $100 at my local gun store. So $20 a box. I'm assuming that's 9mm, 115 grain, I'm guessing. That's not bad, but locally we're seeing $16.99, and online I'm starting to see $14.99, which is getting better. But for me, like, Blazer should be $10.99, which is what it was pre-pandemic. So we're getting away for the $49 a box 9mm that we were screaming about, 2 years ago. And finally on the panel, joining us, he stops in once in a while. It's good to see the man when he's here. Jason Stewart's with us. This is Chris's neighbor, right? Just down the street.
Yep, we're pretty close.
All right. So Jason, how you doing today, sir?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good, man. Thanks for the invite, man. Glad to see everybody out there in the chat. Glad to say good morning to the people here on the panel, and let's get into the discussions.
Yeah, we'll just do this. Joining us on the YouTube side, we got JH586, Kendrick98, Kristen the 740, Tacos and French Fries, DJ Play Nice, Jason Stewart, Scott79, Mike, Squib Load, Squib Lift, Squib all over the place, Zinger, and let's see here. Who else is joining in? Kingpin's out there. I guess I'm out there too. So yeah, let's just go ahead and discuss this. So the idea from this topic really was just a random, I don't know that other channels have talked about, gun prices and ammo prices and stuff. And there's, there's about 12 of us that do podcasts every week in the circle of friends that I have. And there's a little bit of overlap on the topics. But for me, Squib and I were just talking like, what'd be a good topic to discuss that we haven't talked about in quite a while? It's about prices, because if you go around and shop around a little bit, you're starting to see some really good deals. And there's two things I'm noticing right now that are coming back on websites. One are these like 10% off or $20 off your first orders options that are now popping up that haven't been there for a long time. You sign up for your email, they send you a coupon. Now, Brownells has always seemed to have that, but places like Arrow, places like Primary Arms, they're giving you $20 off your first order or 10%, 15% off your first order. That's something we haven't seen for a while. And the other thing is the return of the rebate. Taurus kind of started it back up with like the G3 rebates like 6 months ago, G3Cs or G2Cs. And so there's a lot of rebates that are starting to pop up on manufacturers. If you go visit their websites and click on the rebates link, you can see what's out there. And sometimes gun stores will have those coupons in the store. And so you really want to be proactive and research that brand and see if there's any good deals on that gun before you go buy it. Glock was doing a thing. Glock doesn't usually do any kind of deals, but Glock was giving away a free magazine if you buy one of their handguns, which will save you $30, $40 in some places. So, there's a lot of great deals to be had out there. I'm going to run this one around the table here. Jason, we're going to start with you. Out in your neck of the woods, are you seeing any price drops at all on guns and ammo? Reloading components is like a whole separate, discussion and thing. But Jason, guns and ammo, are you seeing any good deals?
Actually, even through the thick and the thin of the last few years at my gun shop, the prices have all been reasonable. Yeah, stuff's gone up a little bit. But I guess it would still be in the margin of just different store prices, $25, $50 here or there. I haven't really noticed, for a while you were talking about the Ruger AR-15s. Yeah, I saw some stuff like that spike in prices and then start to come down because that was just, last year, the year before, those, the ARs and stuff for some companies went up in price. They probably didn't sell a whole lot, so now they're kind of coming back down.
Or they got the inventory, or the inventory's coming back, and so now there's some price competition going on because you're starting to see the prices just naturally drop, and the demand's just not there. Yeah.
The firearm prices, there's nothing that's really jumped out alarming to me. The ammo is coming down just because now, believe it or not, well, hopefully it's your neck of the woods too. My gun store is packed full of ammo. Can't get another box on the shelf, of every caliber.
Saw that with me at Shields. Ammo's there, but nobody's necessarily buying because it isn't. Or we're either at capacity for ammo, or we're buying it as we consume it, or we're going to wait because it's just a little bit more than we want to pay right now. That's kind of the three consumers that I see buying ammo in the markets right now.
Yeah, the prices aren't wonderful, but they're definitely lower than the outrageousness of last year.
Oh, yes.
And it may be just in my local area, kind of maybe depends on what caliber. Like 30-30 rifle stuff is still at pandemic prices, but other stuff has come down, but still, like 357 Magnum, 45 ACP. Man, they're running that up there at $40 a box.
Yes. Yeah, that's still very expensive right now. That's unfortunately, and no, I agree totally. AC97 says, speaking of rebates, Brett is running a PX4 Storm rebate until September 30th, $75 off. So if you want a PX4 Storm, there you go. Now, Razor JB says, at my local store, gun prices never went up at all, just the availability. Ammo's coming down. However, in November, it's going up by all manufacturers. So what I saw happening at Shields, which is usually below MSRP, is Shields pretty much took all their guns back up to MSRP during pandemic pricing. And now they've started to kind of drift back below $50, $75, $100 under MSRP. But again, local gun stores versus big box stores, completely different pricing strategies. Talking about, prices, we're forgetting that, 12 months ago, Bear Creek Arsenal uppers were $400 and now they're $225, $240, $250. Lowers at PSA. What was $109 lower went up to $200 for a lower. I know because I bought one because I was doing a build and I didn't want to wait, and I didn't, it wasn't any cheaper to go buy the parts separately at that point. Whereas now they're $129, $109, they're starting to fall back down. So we're starting to get that return of the prices, and it really kind of depends on your market and your little neck of the woods. I mean, maybe you forgot, but I remember showing off High Point handguns. The C9s were going for $300, something I never thought we would see a C9 go for more than $200, right? Especially if it's not like a last one kind of situation. Chris, what about you? So you and Jason are in the same neck of the woods. What are you seeing for just prices locally in general or online? What's your perception as somebody who's in this kind of gun kind of purchasing mode? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't buy a lot of factory ammo. I do buy a lot of 9mm factory ammo, obviously 22. We buy quite a bit of 22. My biggest thing, I buy a lot of factory 9mm because if you're reviewing a pistol or red dots, a lot of guys, you get that complaint every time in the comments. Oh, you're running your reloads. That's why it's running so good. Or, you didn't run any factory.
Or you're having problems because you're running reloaded ammunition. No, I always ran new through any guns that were ever loaned to me, always brand new, never a question. Yeah. From a liability standpoint, my own guns, personal ones, I'd sometimes run the stuff that I had Foos reload for me, but yeah.
So I put a cap on myself. I was like, I'm not going to pay more than $19.99 or $20 for a 50-round box of 9mm. So when it would go down to like $18.99 a box, $17.99, I'd grab a couple. Now, back in May, Rural King had actually dropped their Blazer all the way down to $12.99 a box. So that was way back before pandemic prices.
Yeah.
But now you go in there and it's all back up to $19.99 a box right now. So it fluctuates pretty a lot around here.
I noticed our Walmarts are starting to get more calibers back, and they've gotten rid of the evil black rifle calibers. You won't find 5.56, you won't find 7.62 by 39 or 300 blackout in Walmarts anymore. They used to have 7.62 by 54R. That's all gone. Now they've got your good old boy calibers, as I call it, your 243, your 270, your 30-30, your 350 Legend, which it's kind of funny because they're like, well, we're not selling any handgun caliber ammunition. It's like, well, all those ARs are available in a pistol configuration, and you can get a 243 AR pistol if you really want it. I mean, there are companies out there that make it. I don't know why you would, but just the point is that Walmart's getting their ammo back in, but even their prices are still a little bit higher than where they were before. Jason, you were mentioning the 30-30. That seems to be like the last one that got back in stock. And when Squib was with me at Shields, it was $27 a box for Remington Core Locked. And I'm not complaining. I get it. It's market price, right? I'm not ripping on the industry at all for pricing. Not at all. I'm happy to have the inventory back in stock. But it was $17.97 a box before all this craziness happened for that same box of Core Locked. And that 30-30 was one of the last ones to come back into stock because we can argue this, but it's probably one of the least expensive, calibers that's sold, or not least expensive, probably one of the least consumed calibers out of all the calibers that we buy in the USA. Of course, that's going to be one of the last ones to show up. So,
well, here's an example. Like my gun store is great. They're not gougers. They're not rippers off. They're mom and pop. They're just doing what they do.
Yeah.
Stuff has kind of like the normal prices. They got 9mm, $20 a box. But 30-30, they haven't had it for a couple years, and they've just gotten a little in.
Been out of stock. Yeah.
So the last month or so, 2 months, they've had a little 30-30. $65 for a box of 20.
I mean, that's what I was seeing online during the worst of the pandemic when I was trying to I actually bought out, Defense Dad and I bought out what our Walmart had for 30-30 about a year and a half ago. And we were getting it $18 a box. We went up there and literally just bought all of it. We bought the entire shelf. So you know what? They've got Federal, they've got Remington. I had just gotten my Henry and I didn't have any 30-30 ammo. and he needed to stock up too. So we bought like 20 boxes, 25 boxes of 30-30 and just cleaned them out.
Yeah, the 30-30 I have from just a few years ago before COVID, depending on the weight, I believe they say $17.99 on them, $18.99 on them.
Price tags that are still in the boxes.
Yeah, I bought some like 150 grain. I bought like 160, 170. Yeah. I think maybe there was $1 difference in there.
Yeah.
But since then, I haven't bought any. I've looked and seen it scarce and gone. It's just the caliber and the rifles that I'm just not shooting and haven't shot for a while. Because you gotta admit, unless you're truly hunting, $65 a box is just it's you're not even considering it.
You can go buy a die and
one
get for
box
10,000 brass for just a little bit more. You know,
if you actually can hunt with that, I could understand one box lasts you 3 seasons. You know what I mean? So I can understand that, but for just somebody who wants to go to the range, that's not wise.
And so that's not, somebody watching this episode today, they might be like, well, prices aren't down for me. It depends on what you're shopping for. It depends on what you get. I tend to consume a lot of AR-15 components, 5.56 ammo, 9mm handguns. And so those prices, I'm seeing those prices drop. AC97 says, I bought a couple boxes of 325 count Federal Auto Match 40 grain, 22 LR for $26.99 before tax. Is that a decent deal? It is. You say better than 500 for 40. Well, that 500 is probably what, Remington Golden Bullets or maybe Winchester. So yeah, the Federal Auto Match, that's what I used to pay. I think I used to pay maybe 23 or 24. That's primarily what I shoot when I can't get CCI. I'm a huge fan of CCI mini mags, which those prices skyrocketed during the pandemic. So $26.99, in my opinion, seems like a pretty fair price. So, if you can get it locally, not to pay for shipping, yeah. I mean, I think that's what Walmart's asking for. The auto match. I don't know, Chris, you shoot a lot of 22 Federal Auto Match. Are you not a fan of that ammo, or do you shoot that ammo? Are you strictly CCI? I've always had good luck with it. Okay, I've always had good luck with it in any 22 that I've ever tested. So I can't really speak, but you also run some different configurations and some different firearms for me. So I can understand that, that maybe you don't have that kind of good luck with what you're running it through. So, yeah.
Yeah, I tend to stay away from Federal and Winchester when it comes to 22 ammo.
Okay, are you strictly CCI then?
I'll run a lot of Remington Golden Bullets.
And see, I've always had trouble with that, so that's why I've stayed away from it. I used to run it through my 522 Viper, and it would just start choking up after like 100 rounds.
Yeah, it runs pretty good in my TX22, so.
Okay. Jose Sandoval says, kind of a little off base, but what's up with shotgun ammo? We waterfowl turkey hunt used to be able to find it off season. I haven't been able to find the brands we use, aka Kent. Shields, Squib, you were with me. Shields is completely packed full of shotgun ammo. So if you got a Shields nearby, I've had pretty good luck with they have their own store brand of Fiocchi shotgun ammo you can get, but they have everything back in stock. Heavy duty Magnum loads, slug rounds, whatever you want. So it depends on where you're shopping. I don't know what it is with the shotgun ammo. I think that it was one of those things where that was one of the last things that I remember seeing sell out. So maybe it's one of the last things that's being replenished. Plus, you have a lot of people that do trap shooting, and trap seasons for a lot of places were canceled during the pandemic, especially like high school trap teams. And they consume a lot of ammunition locally for us, cases and cases of ammunition. So once that gets back on the shelves, people are going to snag it up. You've also got that pandemic mentality where, oh God, it's on the shelves, I got to buy all of it because they've got it back in. So that's something you also run into, is that whole consumption model. So certain brands, those companies might have shifted their production to other types of ammo, and now they're back to making what they used to make before. So here in Nebraska, shotgun ammo is not an issue. I'm seeing it everywhere from the Orchland's Farm Supply store to the Shields Big Box store to the mom and pop shops. So in my opinion, I think you just need to wait, and I think you're going to start to see like your Aguila come back in stock and Kent and stuff like that. So there's a few brands like Herders. I haven't seen Herders shotgun ammunition for years. I actually used to buy their buckshot at Walmart, and I haven't seen that on the shelves in a while. So it all kind of depends on what you're shopping for. Single shot, what about you? Your neck of the woods, you travel all over the place. What's kind of your take on guns and ammo prices? Are you seeing stuff drop off?
Well, it all depends. Like fellows have been saying, it depends on the area that you're in and the demand that is in that area. In my own area, ammo is coming back into stock. You're getting a lot more availability for different calibers. Reloading components, they're kind of sort of coming back. I'm starting to see a bunch of it online. It's starting to show up. So, you know, their prices are still quite high in some places, but for the firearms, again, it takes the area's demand in product, so whether or not it is high or not. I'm outside checking the truck here, so
no, it's
might
all
be
good.
a little
It's all
noisy.
good. Yeah, and since you have a chance to kind of travel around and maybe stop in at gun stores from time to time or different places, because there's a lot of places we don't have in Nebraska that we don't have Academy, we don't have Rural King, so I really can't speak of their prices. Which I'm glad you guys are chiming in on the comment side because I never have an opportunity to go to those stores. So my dream someday is to go visit a Rural King. So Chris, I'm probably going to show up and pick you up, and we're going to go to a Rural King for the first time. So we're going to go have a Travis P11 shopping spree. So
We got
maybe
a lot
next
of
summer
them
I'll come out
around
to
here.
Ohio. What's that?
We got a lot of them around
I know
here.
we don't. I think the closest one to me is 400 miles, and so, but I'm willing to make that trip, man. I'm willing to make that trip. So, Squib, I'm going to drop this one on you now. So there's people talking out there, and I don't want to make this discussion about reloading and reloading components. We're going to focus on guns and ammo in general. I know reloading components are ammo, but Squib, eCode says if only prices on primers would come back down, local store has CCI number 400 primers for $140 for 1K. So, Squib, first of all, is that a good price or not? I don't know primer prices. I haven't bought primers in years. I was stocked up on them, so.
It's not a good price, but it's the price you're going to pay right now.
Okay, so Squib, what is the secret to finding primers if you want them? What does a person have to do? Because all we hear are these complaints, not complaints, but people saying, I can't find them. There's no primers to be had anywhere. So I see them from time to time when I go into the local shields. They're up there right next to the powder. They've got them in the case locked up. Large rifle, small rifle primers, not necessarily pistol primers. So, Squib, what is the key to finding primers? What is the golden ticket that people need?
Don't limit yourself. I think some people are limiting themselves. I'm only going to pay cash. I don't buy online. I'm only going to shop local. Stuff like that, right? If you go online and look at places that sell reloading stuff, there's tons of them. Sign up for notifications. Set yourself up with an account. Sign up for notifications. They'll send you an email when it comes in stock. When it comes in stock, be ready. Be ready to get online and pull out your credit card. If you're like, I don't use a credit card, I don't do that. Okay, then you can only buy it locally. All right. Now, if you live somewhere where there ain't a lot of gun stores or ain't big box gun stores that can buy because they've got contracts and stuff like that, you're limiting yourself. And even then, you might go, well, Cabela's has always had part. No, they're not. So you might find these at a smaller store. You might find them at a bigger store, but some people would be waiting there. Tuesdays at 1 is when their inventory comes out on the floor, and they're there at 12:30 on Tuesday or something. Sometimes you got to find that sort of thing out. But this is what people were doing when they were buying up all the 22 and other stuff like that. That's another thing too. I mean, be patient. And you might say, I've been waiting 2 years. Well, the reason you've been waiting 2 years is because you didn't prepare yourself.
Or you're refusing to pay current market prices. You want 2 years ago. You're not going to get the $4.99 for $100 pistol primers that you got 5 years ago. I mean, that's just the reality of the markets now. I'm sorry that it hasn't improved, but we're always at the market of supply and demand and whatever people want to charge us for everything that we buy as consumers. So you also have to keep that in mind. You might say, well, that gun's going to go down another $25 or $50. Well, it might not. So now might be the time to buy it, because who knows when you're going to have your next round of legislation that's going to scare everybody, or your next round of riots, or your next round of whatever that's going to cause prices to skyrocket back up. So you're making a good point, and also you talk about going local. I mean, has anybody here ever just gone to the local gun store, the mom and pop, and said, hey, do you guys have any primers in back you want to sell?
You get laughed out of there.
No, not always. Not always. My local guy's got them if I want them. He's like, yeah, I got some for sale I can sell you. Hey, man, the answer is always no if you don't ask. You never know. You might be able to just find some. So, hey, it's always, I ask, I'll get laughed at, but then that one time I get them, I'm going to laugh all the way to the bank. So I'm just saying, you guys can say,
If you can't get it, whether it be parts, components, the whole firearm, ammo, whatever it is, then you can't get it. It's as simple as that. You're either going to have to switch brands or switch styles or wait or I don't want to wait. Okay, well, I don't know what to tell you, dude. You should have bought it before this happened. Well, I couldn't see this happening. No, but there was a time where this stuff was plentiful, and you had the
you've been
money,
watching
and
these podcasts 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah, go ahead, Squib. Go ahead.
Well, instead you spend it on something else. Instead, and that's just it. And at that time, that was more important. Now you want this, but do you want it because you can't get it, or do you want it because you really want it? Another thing too is, okay, you can't buy reload stuff, but you can buy the ammo. But that costs more. I really like reloading. Okay, what do you want to do? You can either shoot what you can buy on the shelf, or you can just sit there and wait until the reload stuff comes available, the price comes down, or it's a personal choice. You can't be prepared for everything. You can try, but you'll never be prepared for everything. And you could say, well, I would have put myself in debt 3 years ago if I bought everything I wanted. Yeah. And by now you'd have all that debt paid off and you'd be sitting on a stockpile of reload supplies. Everybody who's criticized me for using my credit card to buy stuff is the ones complaining right now that they can't find stuff, and I'm sitting on a stockpile downstairs. So even with the interest, okay, I paid less for that case of primers at $35 for the case than you're paying for at $140 right now. So I'm not telling you this is what you have to do, but the reason I'm not out there online crying and whining and all is because I bought it when it was there, and I didn't see this coming. Nobody saw this coming, but you know, when I'm out on vacation, I stop at stores that I don't normally go to and buy stuff. When I'm ordering a part online, and I might say, you know what, I'm already paying $20 for shipping. What else can I throw on there that I might need or whatever? I'd rather need it and not use it, or
have it. Yeah, want it and get it than need it, not have it, essentially.
So you say, well, that's great for going back in time to 2019 or before, but what about now? What about now? You're SOL, dude. You're either going to pay the high price, you're going to change your buying methods, or you're going to wait. It's as simple as that. The person who says, I've only got 2 calibers and blah, 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 so I can consolidate. They're the ones that might be right now going, I can't shoot anything, or this is too expensive. If you had multiple guns, if you had multiple calibers, if you had multiple avenues to get this stuff, the more you limit yourself, the harder it is when times are tough. People that are out there complaining got into this after Sandy Hook. They don't remember a whole year where you couldn't get 380. Nobody could explain it. There wasn't a crisis going on whenever, but there was a whole year we couldn't get 380. 22 has gone out of stock multiple times. 223 up and down and up and down. The cost of ARs up and down, up and down. Things like that. If you've been doing this for decades, you've seen these things. You've seen different laws passed. You've seen different laws get repealed. You've seen a flood of stuff in the market and prices go down. Then you've seen the market dry up and you can't find it anymore. Your favorite company just went out of business, whatever it is. These are all things that come with experience. The people out there complaining, I think, don't have the experience. I think that's all it is. Once you go through this enough, you'll be ready next time. So think about next time. Well, I don't care about next time. I care about now. Well, there ain't nothing you can do about now, dude.
The problem is like people that are new to it, they'll go buy this gun like, oh, I bought this Ruger EC9S for $350. It's like, those were $220 3 years ago. What? And then they get upset about it. A lot of times they don't realize the fluctuations. And the reality is we've got a lot of new people that are new gun owners and they don't realize the prices that they're paying, or, Travis, he makes a good point. Go ahead.
Well, here, I'm going to give a good example for the people out there that don't have perspective. I bought my AK the summer of 2016 because I thought the election was going to go a certain way and that they were going to get banned or threaten to be banned and the price was going to go through the roof. I paid $750 for it brand new. Every one of you guys out there bought yours years before for like $450. Same gun. I paid $300 more because it wasn't a priority to me, because AK really wasn't. I have one, but I'm not a big AK guy, right? But I bought it because I knew the stock would go down, the price, because I've gone through enough of these elections and everything else that I've seen this stuff, right? So I paid $300 more than everybody else. Now, if you can find an AK in stock, they're like $1,200. So, you guys might be laughing at me because I paid $300, but I'm laughing at the guy now because he's paying $500.
Or if anything, that $750 AK is now $1,000 from that company. Yeah. Like I said, when I bought my Daniel Defense M4A1, it was $1,600. I thought that was insane. Now they're $2,150 for that exact same rifle.
So as you go through this, you're going to find out that this was a good deal. This wasn't a good deal. This was a good financial decision. This wasn't. This is a financial thing as much as it is a passion thing and an enjoyment thing. And if you're not willing to, when you turn down that Saturday at the plant where you could have made $300 for just showing up to work, and that's the difference between buying it or not, and you're going, nope, my time's worth more than my money. I got nothing for you, dude, because this stuff is not cheap. And the more you get into it, the more facets you accept or you take on, the more expensive it gets. And I'm not paid by anybody. I'm not trying to get you to spend your money. I don't care. But when you're out there complaining, but you're not doing anything about it,
What was your AK that you bought? Because Scott79 says I can find them significantly cheaper than $1,200. Yeah, now you've got PSA doing the GF3s for $699 for a blemish, But if you look at Zastava, they're $1,000 or $800. If you look at Riley Defense, they're pushing $899, $799. So it depends on the brand, Scott. Just to kind of, you can get some AKs. You can buy a Century Visca or not a Visca, but they've got the Century. They've got like a standard model that they're selling now. I can't remember what it's called, but they have it for like $699 or something.
What he's talking about quantifies what I was saying. Last time I shopped for an AK was last year. They were all going for over $1,200.
Yeah, $1,000. Everything.
If they're now down to $900, that's where you say, I last year I thought it was going to go up more. I wanted one really bad. I paid the $1,200. Now they're $900. I pay $300 too much. Okay, but what if this year they'd gone up more? Or what if this year they banned them? Or what if this year a couple of the manufacturers had distribution issues or went out of business or whatever? And that's the risk you take. Sometimes it's a good investment. Sometimes it's a bad investment. Most of the time it's a good investment because almost always these things go up. So that $1,200 AK a year ago is now $900. Set on it. Because here's the thing. You're not going to make any money.
If you're a new gun owner and you're thinking about buying an AK or an AR, this comment that AC97 is making is the exact reason why you need to buy it now. I hate saying this every 3 or 4 years, but I told you so. 3 years ago, I was screaming at people saying, guys, you can get an AR for $299. You could get that Taurus G3C for $175. But AC97 says there's an assault weapons ban in the house, but that's quite possibly going to die without too much fanfare. Now, we don't want to see that pass, okay? But if there's talk and media hype and YouTubers screaming about the possibility of an assault weapons ban that's going to pass, you're going to see ammo prices go back up. You're going to see inventory deplete, and you're not going to get the deals that you used to get. So what I try to tell you as a firearms enthusiast, if there's something you want, I'm just looking at prices right now. Go buy it. Go buy it because prices could go back up. Chris, what do you think about that? Am I wrong or not?
Yeah, Squib hit the nail on the head. I'm almost 50 years old, and I don't know how old Squib is. I don't know how old you are, Travis, but
we're the same age.
These younger people do need to watch. All these prices always fluctuate because of the political climate.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like with me, when we were going back to primers, and I don't want to harp on that, but I have thousands and thousands of primers that I bought back in 17, 18. And then people say, well, you're contributing to the problem because you keep buying primers at these high prices. Well, the thing is like, I still want to replace everything that I'm shooting. I don't care how much I have. I'm not going to stop shooting. I might just not go out to eat a couple nights a month less,
Mm-hmm.
There's things that I can cut that I'm spending money on because I'm not going to stop shooting. I love shooting. That's my hobby. And
I'll be back shortly, guys. I'll be back shortly.
I think another thing we got to realize too that we really haven't talked about is if you look at the background check numbers during the pandemic for the last 2 years, it's astronomical how many new gun owners started buying guns.
Yeah, a percentage of those are also going to be transfers and sales. We can throw that out there, but the fact is there's 2 or 3 million more new gun owners now than there was in 2017. And they're all consuming. They're all consumers.
Yeah. So, I don't think we're ever going to really see the prices go. I don't want to, they will go back down, but I don't think we're ever going to see them like go back down to the numbers that we think they're going to go back now?
Well, supply and demand issues, material costs, the cost of lead, the cost of brass, the scarcity of primers. I don't know if we're going to get, because, back in 2017, I made a lot of ammo videos saying, hey, I got this case of, 9mm for, 149 delivered tax-free from PSA. You guys should get a case of ammo. We were telling you guys to go buy ammo because prices hit an all-time low after the 2016 election. 2017, 18, 19, we saw, depending on your caliber that you shoot, but in general, your 5.56, your 9mm, even your 22, it was just, Walmart was having rollbacks on ammo all the time before they got rid of a lot of their ammo. So you could get good deals on stuff. So what we're saying now is, me personally, I'm seeing prices as low as they've been in the last 24 months. And it hurts to buy that stuff at a higher price than it was 3 or 4 years ago. But either A, it's too late to do that, or B, I've already got it and I don't need it. So those are like two different kind of purchase models that people are in. So let's just take a look real quick. What are some of the good deals out there? I wanted to kind of show this off because we're talking about examples of how prices are dropping off. So we'll take a look. Let me go ahead and share. If you guys see any comments or questions on the right side, let me know, because I'm not going to be able to see the comments while we're doing this little share screen going on. So we're going to go over to Gun.Deals. And again, I'm not endorsed or paid by any of these companies. Gun.Deals is my daily addiction to see what's on sale. PMags are a great example. For a while there, they were bouncing up to $11, $12, $13 a mag. And now, PSA's got them back down for $8.99. That's a really good deal. Now, some of these other guns, if you guys want to comment on them, just let me know. These cold uppers were selling for, well, they've had the 16-inch model. Those were selling for $850 a year ago. Some of these companies I haven't heard of. Here's a lower parts kit for $27.98, an Anderson parts kit. There's one that I really wanted to show you guys. Oh, where's it at? Yeah, the Stoeger STR9C with a rebate, $199. They also got that SAR-9 pistol for $219 after rebate, which is a really good deal. Your shields, your shields were going for $400 pandemic. Now they're $299, and that's brand new. Glocks, I paid $520, $523 for my G17 Gen 5, which that's an everyday low price at one of my local gun stores. And I can find that if I look around. 9mm, we can go to AmmoSeek here in a little bit and check prices. You guys that know about P320s, is this a pretty good price, or 6-hour 320s? What do you guys think?
How much was it?
$399 for the compact, 15+1.
Pretty good deal.
Yeah, I think they're $549 everywhere else.
The ones I've bought were in the 550 and more range, and I don't see why the compact would be a similar price. I don't see a big price changes that I remember between the different sizes. So that that's easily $100 or more savings right there.
Radical Firearms has a complete AR for $439. They were $800 a year ago. Yeah.
Is that the new Primary Arms red dot right to the right of that SIG?
Over here, the SLX-RS10 for $200.
Oh, wow. Yeah, they just came out with that.
Wow. And see, in optics, optics didn't really seem to go up much during the pandemic. They seemed to be about, either they were going MSRP, or maybe they just weren't thrown in as like a bonus on certain guns when you buy them. But, we're seeing optic prices starting to kind of settle down a little bit too. Now, for 9mm, you really got to hunt around. We'll go to AmmoSeek here in a little bit, but AK ammo is still a little bit pricey. Here's 1,000 rounds for $349. I remember paying $249 for a case of Wolf, and people were screaming at me. Now I'm laughing all the way to the bank. $7 a box for Global Ordnance. But like I said, the point is, like, here's PMC bronze for $888. Here's 62 grain X-Tac. $950 is less than I was paying pre-pandemic at Cabela's when I go buy a box out of Kearney, Nebraska. So if you guys want $950 a box, now granted, you might be looking at shipping, but a lot of these places have free shipping if you buy a certain quantity or a certain dollar amount. Buy once, cry once, buy your case, and then you don't have to worry about it. So if the next threat of a ban comes through and you see inventory disappear, you're sitting on ammo and you're doing good. Me, the majority of the ammo I bought was back in 2017. I'm just now having to start buying ammo, and I run a gun channel. So, I stocked up hardcore because these prices were amazing, Strip lowers, I've been seeing the Andersons for $39.99. Cases of 5.56 and 223 are still a little bit pricey. But, overall, we're seeing some pretty good deals. Here's PMags for $7.99 at Locked and Loaded. If you need them, or if you're in a state that's threatening to ban them, buy them now so you have them so you don't have to worry about it.
and get them while they're and grandfather them in if they allow it.
Yeah. Here's CZP-10C for $439. That's a pretty good price. Critical Defense, which hasn't been in stock in many places for years, $19.99 for box 25. That's par for the course. Squib wants this one. Here's an M16A2 transferable machine gun. It's only $49,000. Get in on that, Squib. You want that.
Put it on the credit card.
Put it on the credit card, baby. There you go. Yeah.
Shoot.
I think that's new in box, by the way, so you could really have fun with that one. No worrying about, I wonder if that's got a factory warranty on it. I don't know. You really got to watch it. Some of these police trade-ins, the prices aren't very good. But again, the point here, and that's the other thing too. Police trade-ins are starting to show up again. The use cases in my neck of the woods are absolutely packed. Unfortunately, it's a lot of like maybe some CPX2s. I don't have anything against them, but there's a lot of Springfield XDs that are popping up. So, you're starting to see the use cases just fill back up again because all these people that bought guns during the rioting are now turning around and selling them, or they need the money. So I think you're starting to see the use cases fill back up quite a bit. Jason, what about you? Out where you guys are at, how's the used gun market looking? Are you seeing some good deals at the local gun stores or the big box stores?
I keep an eye on the used stuff every time I go in my store. Prices are okay, but they're a little high. Yeah, that's because they're a nice gun, though.
Yeah, a lot of these have never been fired, or they're like new condition. Yeah.
Our used guns where I go, over the last couple years, especially like there was the big gun buy right in 2020, right? And I picked up a lot of deals. I had the mentality that a lot of people predicted with the ammo shortage. Here in about a year, you're going to find a lot of used guns that have never been fired, right? So I found several of those just in my area. Mm-hmm. So the last couple years is kind of, our used section has kind of been your normal run-of-the-mill guns that you could probably just go buy a new one.
You get some like SD9Bs going on. You get a lot of CPX2s, a lot of Tauruses popping up.
Yeah, that seems to be filtered out. And the used guns there that we have now are a little bit more special. Mm. I've been told, and I've seen a lot of guns that it's used in my shop right now, have some older gentlemen, some older collectors that are just trying to unload and thin stuff out. So, like right now, last night, I was looking at a 44 Special Smith & Wesson. I forget the number. Are they
revolver?
Yeah, but it was -1, so it was an early 80s gun that had some magnificent trigger work on it. Had like a 7 or 8 inch barrel 44 Special Dan Wesson. Just loaded with I couldn't even think of all of them, but a lot of older stuff, a lot of nicer quality stuff, a lot of stuff you don't buy. There's several guns in there. There's 2 or 3 examples of each. Yeah, thus they came out of a collection. But there's just been interesting stuff over there, man. A lot of the older Rugers and Brownings, little .22 target pistols. I've seen a lot
of like the P89s and the P93s, the P95 Ruger handguns are starting to pop up.
Seen a lot of scoped revolvers, vintage revolvers lately there too. Actually had an original Colt Python with a scope, Colt scope. I believe that was $6,000, I believe. But the used guns in our shop kind of they might be a little pricey, but it's not really something like you could get us go buy a brand new one there. You're going to pay a little bit for the model of gun that this is. Mostly older stuff, man. I see a lot of 80s and 90s made guns over there that are in well cared for, wonderful shape. So it's not bad to used here. I do believe like my gun shop can be a little picky. They just don't take any used gun. Like they'll know what's selling at the moment. Like I've known them at times where they don't even want a 1911 used because they weren't pushing them brand new over there, you know. So then there's other times where they can't get enough 1911s. So they're kind of picky on what they put out for the used. They just don't take any old anything. They're just not interested in it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that, and I agree with you. And a lot of the big box stores tend to take anything. They might not necessarily give you the price that you want, but they're also they're still buying it off you if you want it. See, I'm just like I said before, I'm seeing a lot of Skies and a lot of EZs, a lot of Smith and Wesson EZs popping up in the used case. You might have some elderly people maybe that bought them and decided they don't want them a year or two later for whatever reason. Occasionally, I'll see some H&Ks pop up or some of those Smith and Wesson semi-auto, State Patrol 9s and 40s and stuff are popping up. So don't rule out the used case, but also be careful, really hunt around, because a lot of the times the used prices might only be 25 or 50 bucks below new, and you might not get all the magazines or all the accessories with it. Or new, you might be able to find one with a rebate that's the same price as the used gun in the used case. Or if you can negotiate on price, if you're able to, see what you can do, or maybe see if your store is willing to price match. Sometimes they do that too. Just talking about, AR-15s in general, we're seeing the prices of those drop off dramatically. We're seeing, the strip blowers going for 30 bucks now. Now, granted, we're not talking, I usually don't worry about shipping and sales tax and FFLs because that's just kind of all relevant. Sometimes they get free shipping. Sometimes they got to pay for it. Sometimes, I can buy it locally and not pay an FFL transfer fee. Sometimes I have to pay a transfer fee. I generally don't include that in the price of something I want. And that's just because there's always a possibility I can get it locally or a chance it's never going to show up. So I just kind of eat that cost as just like an inconvenience fee, if you will, of trying to buy something. Two Gun Kitty, the Catnip Outlaw, says the used market has stabilized in the Dallas area. Plenty of availability in gun shops and private sales. Only certain used guns bring a premium now. Let's see. There was also Scott79 says the thing with those gun control bills I've seen lately is that they've done away with grandfathering. Yeah, so if you're getting talk about some sort of a bill, and as soon as it passes, say the House or whatever, you're immediately going to start to see some demand in certain areas go up, especially like when they talk about banning, your 80% builds. A lot of these places I'm getting emails from 80%.com or the places where I buy my 80% receivers from, blocks. They're sitting there saying, oh, this stuff's going to be banned. This stuff's going to disappear. You got to get it now while you can, or we're working hard to try to get rid of it or try to stop this bill or whatever. So that's
grandfathering. If you don't grandfather, you create a snafu. You create an issue for law enforcement. You create an issue for the owners, and most importantly, you'll never get reelected. So historically, I'm not saying that you should always count on grandfathering, but historically, the people that are pushing for grandfathering they're also the people that suddenly find themselves looking for a job. So I don't know. I typically don't worry about it. They're going to have to come to my house and get it. I'm also not dumb enough to take it out if something were to happen. I'm not encouraging anybody to break the law or whatnot, but they're breaking the law by passing these laws because they're all unconstitutional. So take it for what it's worth. But a lot of times when you don't grandfather something in, you do create an issue. Not just for the people that are your constituents, but for the people that have to enforce these laws. So yeah, I've seen more of that at a state and local level than really at a federal level. And don't forget, these things are proposed. They're going to throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. And sometimes something will stick, and it sticks when we sit on a couch and eat Cheetos.
What was it that has passed recently? The one with red flag laws, and what was that has that actually gone through? But that's been signed into law now, right? Was it funding for states for red flag laws,
bribery,
enforcement? Well, the thing is, like what Squib said, they threw 100 things at this bill, banning everything they possibly could. They probably had BB guns and airsoft guns in those bills, Nerf guns in those bills, right? Well, and then just the little things that they know that they can get enough bipartisan on to get it to pass and vote. That's what they're going to try to get. But again, that's giving an inch every single time, which is not what we're encouraging. I'm not happy with it at all. Okay. Yeah.
No. The way these legislators are working against us and the Second Amendment, the Constitution as a whole, the way they want it was stated to me yesterday in another conversation. They want to bust the people down to a .22 to go out and shoot Kevlar-wearing deer. Asinine. Totally.
Yeah, I guarantee we're being sold out for $1. I totally.
Oh yeah, we are.
These people are stuck because or a lot of these guys are up for, they're going to be retiring, or they're aging out, or they can no longer renew, or they're going to get their little push, make a few sides happy, and then walk off in the sunset, and we'll never get our rights back. So
Well, that's it. If you don't fight for them now, you're not going to get them. You're not going to keep them.
And again, in the end, the whole point behind this whole discussion is, prices could go up. So I mean, I'm not trying to like trigger you or do any kind of like clickbaity discussion here, but I've seen prices fluctuate too. And I've owned many firearms in the past, but I've only been heavily in the firearms and firearms media content for the last 6 or 7 years. And just in that, I've seen these cycles and these fluctuations where you see things like the free shipping disappear. You see the blemish model suddenly disappear. Now everything's available full MSRP. You don't see the good deals anymore. You don't see the good rebates. We're in this low in terms of pricing where if there's something you want, I do encourage you to go out and get it, especially if you can get a good deal on it. So,
there's one other point that I want to make, and it's something that's happened in my county in Maine. We are the only Second Amendment sanctuary in the state of Maine, in Piscataquis County. And good Lord willing, we keep our sheriff. It's going to stay that way for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, you never know what's going to happen.
That's right.
Mike F. Jr. says, I purchased quite a few police trade-in Glock pistols, been lucky with quality. Many were used, very little. Prices have gone up on police trade-in for sure. Yeah, you're starting those trade-ins. Here's the thing with those trade-in guns and even surplus. If you can buy it locally and see it and handle it, those can be a good deal. If it isn't worn out, if there isn't any kind of like major scraps and scrapes on the finish of the gun, and you get all 3 mags with it, you get the back straps with it and stuff, it could be a good deal. So I mean, I'd never discourage anybody from not buying a gun, but at the same end, it's like you might just end up paying more in the end, especially if it's missing things or it's not. But for some people, it's all about the bottom dollar too. So that's something that Oh yeah, 2-gun kitty, the catnip ballet. This is another one. God, these lots of shields and people upgrading to a plus or P365. And I see tons of P365s for sale in the used case too, because a lot of people bought that as a concealed weapon or just their first pistol, and they've either traded them or sold them back. So I'm seeing tons of shields and P365s. And like I said, the Easies also, the Shield Easy models are also included in that. So, all right, guys, we are at an hour, so I'm going to go ahead and end it. Well, we've been going for 54 minutes, but I'm almost out of time. My dad's on his way over here to visit. We're going out for lunch for his birthday. So we're going to go ahead and call it. So we will go ahead and just leave it at that. Again, this is something we can always discuss in the future. And if we see prices go up, we'll maybe have an episode on where to find the good deals amidst panic purchasing. So, all right. So, Chris, we're going to go ahead and start off with you. Anything you want to say before we go?
No, that was a great show. Man, you got 57 people watching. That was awesome.
Hey, I'm telling you, man, whenever you put cheap guns out there, whenever you put gun and prices together, it's about as good as the Glock episodes, in terms of the number of people that are watching. So, yeah.
Now, thank you for the invite, and thanks to the side chat and the panel. And I'll be having my live chat Wednesday night, 9 to 11 Eastern, 8-10 Central.
Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate you translating that to those people that don't speak East Coast. So, yes. And you guys are going to continue that. I might try to get in on that reloading chat if possible. If I'm around, I'll try to jump in on it if I can. So we'll see what's going on, because we've had a lot of really good reloading chats here. And they're a lot of fun, especially when you just talk about all the different parts and the different types of items you can get and what's needed and what's not needed. And then you get into your arguments over who makes the best bullet lube. It's like, so yeah, you guys make sure you head over there and subscribe to Chris from the 740s channel. Lots of great content. All right, Jason Stewart, anything you want to say before we go?
Yeah, man. Good to hang out with you guys this morning. But I just want to say, everybody out there, go buy 1 box of ammo a week.
Mm-hmm.
We just went through basically 2 years of nothing on the shelves, and I know I told myself all the time, man, as soon as ammo comes back, I'm buying a box at least every week.
Like, I'm not going to let this happen again. I'm going to run out again. I'm going to go blah blah. And here we're not.
Now that there's something out there, don't take a big sigh of relief and take it for granted.
Oh no!
Just buy 1 box, just 1 box of something every week. In a year from now, you'll have 52 boxes sitting there, and maybe you're not going to complain or panic as much.
That's what I would do every time I go to Walmart.
Just one simple box.
Yeah, I started watching Never Enough Ammo many years ago, and he would say, hey, if you want to build up your stocks, get a $10 box of ammo, throw it in your shopping cart with your groceries. You're not going to notice it. And guess what? After 2 years, I'm laughing. I mean, I'm doing awesome. Or I was buying cases when they hit an all-time low in price. Then I started to realize I can save more money buying in bulk. But you make a good point. Jason, I'm also doing the same thing with food, with non-perishable food. Every time I go to Walmart, I'm buying something extra that I can pack up in a box and vacuum seal and just put off to the side. So even if we don't have food shortages, even if everything's cool, whatever, I still like to have a stockpile of food so I can go a certain period of time without having to go to the grocery store. And that stuff will last a year. And guess what? I can cook it and eat it before it expires. So to me, it's a good investment. So that's something you guys should think about doing too. But that's a discussion for a different time. Food preps. We've had our emergency preparation episode several times. We've talked about, prepper stuff you should have on standby for whether it's civil unrest or weather emergencies and so on. But maybe think about buying a couple extra cans of food or buying a couple bags of beans and rice when you go to the store, just to kind of start to build up your stocks on that. So anyway, not to get you guys on a tangent. Single shot, anything you want to say before we go?
Well, I'm going right along with the rest of the guys. If you see it and it's a little extra, grab it. You're never gonna get this situation under control unless you start preparing for it, and that includes everything. I have got 2 channels. I've got Daywolf on Rumble. I released a video on that. Now about 2 weeks ago. Last time I was home. Right now on YouTube, I haven't posted a whole lot there because of everything that's going on with YouTube. You can't express your opinions about much of anything at all without getting a channel strike. There was one of the guys that runs a religious-based talk show, and he got a strike.
Oh yeah.
So he got jumped for a week.
People could flag the video for whatever reason they want.
Oh yeah, for anything, and mostly the reasons is just totally ridiculous. But stop by, like, share, and subscribe if you guys would. I can always use the subs there as well. But take care. God bless. America moves by truck. If you don't believe me, look at your shelves.
I like you put that little add on at the end there. America moves by truck, and if you don't believe me, check your shelves. There you go, man. That's right. Just to answer Howling Wolf's question real quick before we let Squib close us out here. Best price for 223 brass 1,000 rounds. If I go to AmmoSeek and just filter by cheapest brass rounds per round, it's Lax Ammunition, has 55 grain, 500 rounds with a free ammo can for $199. You can get that'd be $400 for 1,000 rounds, which I think 400 for 1,000 is pretty much par for the course. I'm also seeing remanufactured ammo from Greene County Ammo for $414 for a case, and that's going to be before shipping, and that's 40 cents a round. So you can kind of do the math how that compares, price per box with what you're going to pay locally. That 62 grain PMC stuff, I would just bite the bullet and buy that at $9.50 a box because I was paying over $10 a box for that pre-pandemic. And that's a really, really good ammo. That's a 62 grain green tip. And it's always been a solid shooter through my ARs. All right. Squib, we'll let you go ahead and close us out with a few final words of wisdom or anything we should know before we go.
Sometimes my advice on this doesn't make sense to some people because of the way I manage my finances. I'm an old guy. I've been around for a while. I've seen this stuff, and I run my stuff my way. It doesn't mean it's going to work for you. But I hear a lot of people saying a lot of things, a lot of complaining, a lot of this, a lot of that, and you got to get involved. You got to get involved not just in how you manage your finances and what you prioritize and how you're going to do things, but you got to get involved in our rights. Now, something about gun people is that we're regular people like everybody else. We got families, jobs, hobbies, problems, things like that. Yeah. If you're going out blasting through 1,000 rounds of ammo every weekend and you're complaining that it's breaking you financially or that you're having trouble sourcing stuff, reloading supplies or ammo or whatever it is, how about if you make it every other weekend or once a month? And if you go, I can't do that, then I don't know what to tell you. There's just certain things. There's lots of different things like what Chris was saying about, not going out to eat as much and putting that money into the higher prices there's lots of choices you have to make. And that's part of being mature is you prioritize and you make the decisions and go, what's more important? Obviously a roof over your head is more important than going and buying a case of ammo. So you just gotta, you've gotta use some common sense. And if you're new to this, or you're just new to being a grown up, you're going to learn the hard way. But you take those lessons and you apply them to your life. And it's not just for guns; it's for other things in your life too. So if you hear us saying stuff and it's kind of irritating you, understand that one day you're going to be the old guy on the panel and been there, done t-shirt, and you're going to be saying the same sort of thing. You just don't see it right now. If you're new to shooting and you're like, I suck and I want to get better at this, so I need to dump 1,000 rounds. Actually, no, you don't. There are ways that you can get better. I see this at my range all the time. I'm telling you, 2 guys pull a Palmetto State AR right out of the box, and they got 1,000 rounds of steel case ammo, and they're 25 yards, just blasting away, missing the target, and then they high five each other, and they think that, and if that's what you're doing, I have nothing for you, dude. I seriously have nothing for you. On a side note here, I'm going to put a link in the live chat here to South Territory from last night. These guys were just ripping on each other left and right. It was hilarious. So, if you're looking for something to listen to while you're working today or doing something around the house or whatever, and you want to laugh, I mean, the Gun Snob must have a kick me sign on his back.
Was it the insult episode, or what was the deal?
Oh,
they just started tearing each other apart?
These guys, you remember being in high school just making fun of each other with your friends in the
that's
hallway?
We did that all the time. That's what
it was.
At you.
Yes, it was funny. So, yeah, last night I was listening at work. So if you're looking for something to listen to today to make you laugh, check that one out.
I'm gonna ask Gizzard to rename the episode the "Why You Angry Bro" episode. Why you angry, bro? Why you angry, bro? Oh man.
What's picking at you?
So, anyway, I want to thank everybody for watching today. And again, we were just talking about ways to save money, looking at the reality of prices right now. Obviously, encouraging you. We're all about being able to encourage and promote what we do, which is the shooting sports, the shooting arena, firearms ownership, and so on. And it's just kind of neat, just kind of take a minute to stop and just look at prices and say, hey, this might be the time to buy, or maybe it's not. So it always depends on what you're looking for. So let's give a little shout out on the YouTube side. We got Squib Lift out there, Vanessa Kitty, AC97, DKTK, Defense Dad's out there also, Keith D, G23, Gun Library Garrett, Jason Stewart's out there, Tony York's in the house, Kendrick 98, Mad Sexy watching today, Kirsten the 740. Let's see here, Tacos and French Fries. Bald and Curious joining in this morning. Good to see you, sir. Let's see. We also had Squib Load out there. We had the whole house of Squib watching today. Benjamin Lemieux is out there also. Lemieux, probably pronouncing it wrong. I apologize for that. Let's see. Two Gun Kitty, the Catnip Outlaw, Howling Wolf watching, Broke Loader 2. I'm out there apparently. We had some Kingpin going on. Scott 79, Ecoda. All right, that's probably about it. 2A Comics is watching too. And that's it. All right, so we're going to go ahead and call it. So this has been episode number 240, and we'll have another Thursday weekly episode Thursday evening. We should, and we'll just be talking about a particular firearm in general or a line from a manufacturer. And then Saturday we'll come back with another episode. Maybe. I might have some family stuff going on the 23rd in the morning, so we will see. But otherwise, I think that's it. So guys, I want you to have fun. I want you to be safe. Thanks for watching. And as you know, we will talk to you soon. All right, take care.